Hi, my name is Jen Maloney, and I am your student's U.S. History 1 teacher. I'm so happy that you could join me for this virtual back to school video. I know that this year has many new challenges associated with it, and I hope that you all are finding an easy time with that adjustment. So this video is really just to give you an introduction into me as a teacher, as well as the course, so that you can feel comfortable with what your student is learning this year. So I'm from the local area. I graduated from Wayne Valley High School. I went to Ramapo College, where I got my history undergrad, and I also got my teacher certification through there. When I finished schooling at Ramapo, I got my first job here at Rutherford High School, and I've been teaching here since 2008. It's a great place to work. I really always enjoy the students that I have in my classes. Aside from teaching history, I also teach psychology. So after my first year here, I went back and got my master's in educational psychology. So aside from just teaching history classes, I do teach AP Psych and regular psych, which are both senior electives. And as such, I'm the advisor of the psychology club. So that's a little bit of information about me. That way you feel like you know your student's teacher a little bit. The next thing that I wanted to talk about are the major areas of study, and these are really just the time periods or, the eras that we're going to be talking about in this course throughout the year. So our US 1 class covers basically from the late 1860s through 1945. So we'll talk about some of the issues that the United States faced following the Civil War, as that related to economic growth, political changes, and things like that. So that's what we're focused on right now in the Gilded Age. Eventually, that will kind of lead us into the Progressive Era as we talk about trying to address some of the social issues that came about in the late 1800s. We will talk about American imperialism, or how America grew its empire around the world. We will discuss World War I, the politics and culture of the 1920s, the Great Depression, the New Deal, and World War II. So last year, your students were probably enrolled in world history, where they focused on hundreds of years of history in the short time that we have together with our students. This year, we have a lot more time to go over a shorter period of time in history. So we really do get to go in depth with these areas of study, which I think that the students like and I enjoy as well. In terms of class activities that you should be on the lookout for, we do a lot of primary and secondary source analysis, where students are reading sources and trying to identify the intent of the author and just what those sources are saying about history. Also, your students will be doing some database research. Our Learning Commons has a great array of databases for your students to learn from, and I do use those databases whenever we're doing research. Your students will probably be making slideshow presentations, websites, or historical biographies, and these are all just the different ways that they can delve deeper into the subjects that we're learning about this year. In terms of my goals for your students, I hope that they start to appreciate studying history. I think that it's a valid and important thing for them to do. I know that some students don't love learning about history, but I do try to bring contemporary issues to the class whenever it's appropriate. I hope that they understand the concept of civic duty, and that being a civilian or being a citizen of the U.S. comes with a responsibility, and I hope that they learn what those responsibilities are. Whenever possible, we are going to be tying our historical lessons to current events. So usually at the end of each chapter or each unit, I will be bringing in a current issue that people are talking about right now, and we can talk about how what we've learned from the past relates to that current issue. I'm hoping that your students will learn how to analyze sources for bias, not necessarily to discredit the source, but more to go in with a little bit more awareness about the perspective that the author is taking. I hope that they will develop fact-checking skills, so that aside from fact-checking the sources that we focus on in the class, that they can take that outside into the real world to know what they're reading and know if it seems like a valid source. And lastly, I hope that they improve their writing skills. Oftentimes, I will be asking them to take a position on a historical event. choosing a side for what they agree with or what they don't. And in order to persuade me that their side is right, they need to improve upon their writing skills. So aside from just learning history, these are some of the things that we will focus on in class. If you are interested in learning any more about this class, knowing what we're up to, an easy place to go would be to visit my Google site. That's linked to Rutherford Public Schools website under the staff directory. There is a class calendar that is linked to our Google Classroom. So anytime I post an assignment on Google Classroom, that should show up on the class calendar. And that way you know what we're up to when things are due. Also, if you have any questions for me that you wanted to reach out personally, I'm always happy to be in correspondence with parents or guardians. So please feel free to email me at jmaloney@rutherfordschools.org at any time, and I'm happy to discuss the class or your student. So I hope that this video gives you a little bit more information about me and a little bit more information about the class. And again, please reach out if you have any questions in the future. Thanks.